And it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists.
What he's alleging is true. She sounds like an absolute nightmare.
This woman, this mad hatter who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole, it is so offensive and so ridiculous.
Tried to take over and hijack the movie, and when she didn't get her way, she brought her much richer, more successful and powerful husband in to lay down the law. Baldoni, by the sounds of things, got completely shafted in this one, so if all of this is true, he's 100% justified in suing her.
It's almost funny how these two come off as high-level narcissists if the claims are accurate.
It seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled.
This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that.
It's the more, I think, stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
She acts like a total nightmare, like some mad hatter nobody sane would approach with a 10-foot pole. It's insulting and ridiculous.
Because I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development. And that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this mad hatter who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni
I mean, it is utterly...
None of this was ever about making a good film. It was about power. It was about power. And now that power is backfiring. They try to play it out in the public. That didn't work. They don't want Justin playing it out in the public. The only way Blake and Ryan could salvage what's left of their reputation, which they don't even realize, I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are.
Blake Lively went completely off the rails after Piers Morgan dismantled her live on TV, revealing her desperate attempts to sway the media and twist facts. Did she really think everyone would swallow her story without question? The public saw through it, and she's dealing with the backlash now.
And then she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass.
They're mad. They're mad at Justin for releasing the full context of those texts. It makes no sense.
And the worst part of all of this,
Blake Lively dropped a lawsuit with all his texts, cherry-picked those texts, removed emojis and like intent and backstory to these texts.
literally outright deleted certain sections of the text.
Yes, which they don't even realize. I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are. I don't think they realize they're losing.
She tried to hijack a movie and, when blocked, roped in her wealthier, more powerful husband to impose her will. Let's face it, Piers didn't struggle to roast her because she basically handed him all the ammo.
She was trying to take charge of a situation. You could put the period there. She was not uncomfortable.
You could view it with either lens, I think.
If they did something that no litigious celebrity has ever done, which was come out and be like, we made a mistake. Suing someone is a nightmare. It's stressful. It's expensive. It's a life ruiner. And you know what, dude? Even if we're right, it's not worth it.
Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility. If they find that she just was dishonest and lied on one single point of evidence, in this case, in her testimony, the jury instruction says that they are allowed to discount her entire testimony.
What started as a messy legal battle between Lively and Justin Baldoni turned into one of Hollywood's most humiliating fiascos in recent memory. Baldoni exposed her hypocrisy, clownish PR moves, and shallow media manipulation. By the sound of it, he got blindsided in the worst way.
Her testimony won't even count. And that is that's a harsh reality, because if the jury chooses not to listen to anything she has to say, she's the best witness in this case.
And the worst part of all of this, she decided to promote a film about domestic violence by flogging her alcohol brand, even though we know that most domestic violence cases are involve drinking by the part of the abuser. And she got her husband's PR company that wasn't signed off by Sony to take over the promotion of the film.
So her testimony is super important in this case. And if you can show the jury that she's lied, juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
If all these allegations hold water, he's got every right to sue. Blake's not just flopping in court, she's losing the PR war too. You'd think with a $400 million lawsuit looming, she'd lie low. Not a chance. Instead, she doubled down, using every shady PR trick imaginable while painting herself as a helpless victim. If even half of Baldoni's claims check out, she's a total train wreck, and nobody's buying her act.
But she thinks this is okay and like proudly displaying us. We're women, so we can just lie and cheat and steal our way in to control these big movies. I mean, how disturbing is this to you?
She filed a fake Me Too and got caught, okay? Caught. A fake Me Too and got caught.
Trials are about the truth, and juries want the truth, and if you lie to them, they will hold it against you.
Court documents do her no favors. Then the Hollywood Reporter piled on with a cover depicting Blake firing a slingshot at Baldoni, basically confirming her self-destructive streak. So embarrassing it's almost comedic. She wanted to seem like a brave whistleblower, a strong woman fighting for justice, but she looks more like a Hollywood Karen with a god complex, throwing epic fits whenever she's denied.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss.
None of it was just due to the fact that she seems like a rather shitty person.
Now they're saying, well, no, yeah, but she didn't want that. And he wasn't really in character, and it wasn't within the context of what it should have been. So they're trying to skew it kind of a different way. Number 4, the smear campaign designed by Baldoni's team was intended to derail the SH claims that Lively brought later in time, which seems a little odd to me.
She was just an actress hired for a role, yet she insisted on controlling edits, costume decisions, and basically everything else. That's unheard of. Piers called her out and roasted her. He said she'd gone from America's sweetheart to Hollywood's most delusional star, and there's no lie there.
Number 2, the SH has nothing to do with taking over the movie, even though she doesn't deny that she took over the movie. Of course, it'd be probably impossible to do that. So it kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video, now that it's out, and kind of spin it in a different direction.
That's Blake Lively's PR firm begging to be let go of the case. I think actually they may have the worst messages of all.
There's something wrong with you. And that's exactly what these two people look like. And so it's just glorious to watch it all blow up in their face.
She built a career on this airy, relatable vibe. Then she got caught manipulating the press, and that angelic facade fell apart. Even Taylor Swift, supposedly her BFF, took off the moment Blake tried dragging her into this mess. Taylor realized she was about to get pulled into a blazing scandal and backed away. Blake assumed she had Tinseltown in her pocket, but she bet on the wrong game. The receipts are too incriminating, and her contradictions are too blatant.
Whatever. But if someone calls you that in real life, they're all, that woman is cruel. That is really like at least for me, that's the most impactful way that you can say a person's mean, you know? Because cruel is like you're enjoying this. There's something wrong with you. And that's exactly what these two people look like. Real Me Too stuff, real serial predators that were attacking women who were aspiring actresses who were following their dreams. And then these two in that environment go up and they accuse Justin Baldoni of the same type of thing, which was a complete lie. How could anyone allow them to continue in that community after doing that?
Piers Morgan, ever the sharpshooter, torched her in real time. He called her a weapon-grade narcissist, which pretty much nails it. All that time she and her husband spent projecting their romance to the world got trashed the second her plans went sideways. She started spewing accusations like confetti. This was never about making a decent film. It was always about power, and now it's blowing up in her face. They tried dragging the fight into the public arena, but that failed, and they can't handle Baldoni doing the same. Then came the hysterical dragon angle, Blake calling Ryan Reynolds her dragon, presumably to torch Baldoni. The punchline? She's the one who ended up scorched. Thinking she could flip this into a feminist revenge saga was almost comedic gold. Meanwhile, her blatant lies were exposed. Leaked texts show her privately praising Baldoni, only to paint him as a monster in public. She demanded script changes, wardrobe control, like she owned the production. People were thinking, are you an actress or a dictator? The best part was Piers predicting she might eventually throw Ryan under the bus too. And honestly, would that be shocking? When everything collapses, finding a new scapegoat becomes tempting, and if sacrificing Ryan boosts sympathy, she'll do it in a second. This point, her reputation is hanging by a thin thread. Piers basically took scissors and snipped it. Frankly, she's earned every bit of this. She tried faking a big legal case, waltzing into court like some triumphant crusader. Real life isn't a cheesy CW drama though, and the receipts don't lie. She accused Justin Baldoni of misconduct on set, expecting everyone to bow down because she's Blake Lively.
Sean?
Like, none of this was ever about making a good film. It was about power. It was about power. And now that power is backfiring. They tried to play it out in the public. That didn't work. They don't want Justin playing it out in the public. The only way Blake and Ryan could salvage what's left of their reputation, which they don't even realize, I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are.
I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public? Team Justin, which, you know, same PR rep who repped Johnny, who was behind this, Blake sort of saw that as, oh, you're trying to use an Amber Heard tactic, but she didn't even realize, like, that's not a good defense. That means you're guilty because Blake, Amber lied.
Blake Lively made, and she lied in their minds about what occurred during that dancing scene because she wasn't aware that there was audio that would maybe explain and give some context to what was happening there. So of course she changes her in her amended complaint. She changes the view of it a little bit.
Really, what they did is they said, well, yes, all of that happened, but when Baldoni was in that scene dancing, he wasn't in character, and she was being forced to act as though she loved him, which is, in my mind, just acting.
Baldoni responded with a 179-page counter lawsuit that took her claims apart and exposed her lust for control. She demanded 2 years of his personal records, more than just relevant movie emails. That screams desperation. Enter Ryan Reynolds, who's probably regretting a few life choices. Initially, he offered support to Baldoni, even texting him sweet nothings. But once Blake flipped, Ryan felt forced to play loyal spouse. Nobody in Hollywood sided with Blake, though, not producers, directors, or actors. When an industry that usually rallies around scandalized celebs can't be bothered, you know you're done. Then came her ill-fated PR blitz. She tried advertising a film about domestic abuse like it was a girly rom-com. She literally told folks to bring your friends, wear florals like it was some cutesy outing. People were offended. Adding insult, she simultaneously promoted her alcohol brand, basically linking booze to a story about abuse. Piers compared it to selling oven mitts while promoting a Holocaust film, and he wasn't off the mark. It was so tone-deaf that even staunch feminists walked away. She wasn't just clueless, she was ruthless. In trying to add credibility to her claims, she dragged actresses like Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer into it, implying they'd also been wronged. They never backed her, though. In fact, Ferrer thanked Baldoni for a respectful work environment. If you're going to lie, don't do it about people holding receipts. A phony Me Too claim is the kind of thing that can bury your reputation for good. Then Baldoni dropped a bombshell lawsuit for $400 million, targeting Blake, Ryan, and their PR group. If he wins, their carefully managed Hollywood facade gets obliterated. And he's got a decent chance because juries hate dishonesty. Meanwhile, we learn Ryan turned on Baldoni after failing to strong-arm script changes. So Ryan decided to protect Blake's PR image at the expense of truth. Now he's tangled up in a monstrous lawsuit, too. In a twist nobody asked for, Taylor Swift got dragged in. Blake had used Swift's name as some sort of bargaining chip, implying Taylor was on her side. Swift, according to insiders, was livid and distanced herself. Blake's lawyers panicked as they realized Baldoni had more dirt than expected. She scrambled to bolster her lawsuit, adding 48 extra pages that basically screamed, "Please believe me." It was a weak attempt, and everyone could see that. The industry is collectively gaping at this fiasco. Piers Morgan called it Hollywood ego warfare, not any noble quest for truth. She tried leaking her self-serving claims to the press, expecting instant public sympathy, but people spotted the holes in her story immediately. Then her team's damage control only worsened her image. Baldoni's side revealed she didn't even allege misconduct until after filing her initial claims. That's a big red flag. Baldoni dropped the unedited texts, wrecking her credibility because she'd carefully cut out portions to shape a false narrative. Instead of bowing out, she roped Ryan in deeper. His brand as a witty, likable star took a serious hit. The word is that he even inserted digs at Baldoni into Deadpool, pure pettiness. It backfired, making Ryan look like he's lost his backbone, controlled by his wife's vendetta. Piers Morgan had a ball, calling Ryan Blake's attack dog. Ouch. The once untouchable Reynolds now has a career overshadowed by his wife's meltdown, and folks wonder if future projects will suffer. The power couple illusion is wrecked. They're just another Hollywood duo who thought they were invincible until the truth came out. The ultimate mic drop. Piers predicted Blake will turn on Ryan if it benefits her. Would any of us be stunned? If she loses this suit, she's done. She might scapegoat him to save what's left. That's the corner she's backed herself into. Morgan also compared her to Amber Heard, and the parallels are there, playing puppet master, hoping to shape public opinion. But nowadays, people demand receipts, and Baldoni has them. Lively is in a no-win spot. Lose in court, she's finished. Lose in the public eye, she's done. And she did it all to herself by pushing wild PR strategies instead of real evidence. The bigger lesson is that Hollywood illusions aren't what they used to be. People don't blindly trust a celebrity just because they look innocent on camera. Blake never got the memo and assumed she could choreograph the entire storyline. So what's left for her? Double down on her lies? Pin everything on Ryan? Or admit she lost? Because the public isn't dim anymore, and it's seeing her for what she truly is, which isn't flattering. Sound off in the comments, subscribe for more star meltdowns, and stay tuned. This fiasco is still unfolding, and we might just see the worst of it yet.